All right, good afternoon, fellow lunatics. Welcome to the Lunchtime Lunacy Show. I'm David, and this over here, I do it backwards every time. My co-host, Alex Slade. How you doing today, Alex?
I'm good. I'm here. I'm ready to go, man. Ready to talk about some sports. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, digging my new hat, man.
Yeah, you're looking like a real vintage football player.
Yeah, I am, man. Call me Red Grange.
I don't even know who that is.
I know you don't, man. That's way too old school for you, man. So, all right. Yeah, today's my Friday, man, and I'm already off. I took a half day today, so I'm
Wow, you're
off.
living the dream.
I'm off tomorrow. Dude, my weekend has started. Woo! All right, let's take care of a little bit of business before we get into talking sports. Let you know that Rocky Mountain Sports Report has different social media outlets. We're on Facebook, which is where most of you are watching us. Share that with your friends and family. Help us grow this community. We're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're over on YouTube. So cruise on over to YouTube, hit the subscribe and notify buttons. That way you'll get notified whenever we go live. Or if you're just looking for a convenient place to find our shows and other shows from Rocky Mountain Sports Report, go ahead and what you call it. We got a happy Thursday, gents. And then we also got that from Scott Cole.
Man,
Happy
already got
Thursday,
more
Scott.
comments than we had yesterday.
No, we had some yesterday. Matt came in
I've just
the
messed
day
around.
before. So,
Right.
yeah. All right. Happy Thursday to you as well, Scott. Friday for me, like I was just telling Alex. So I'm happy about that. So, all
I'm
right.
happy for you guys. My week just started, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying your time off. I hope you guys
Yeah.
relaxed and drink a cold one for me.
Yeah, definitely will. All right. We got some sponsors we need to go over. We got Stoked Fire Barbecue Superstore up in Loveland, Colorado. Check them out. You know, they got a website, stokedfire.com. Check out what they have. They sell meats, all kinds of stuff. And also newly added to the show is Willow Seasonings and Blends, which is my creation. Product right now is for sale in Colorado only. It is for sale on on Facebook Marketplace right now, and soon to be out in stores within probably the next month. July 24th will be the official launch date of Willow Seasoning and Blends up at the Stoked Fire barbecue store. So, what else is going on up there that day, Alex?
What's our live event?
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm going to go ahead and do this again. Alex loves when I do this.
I love when you cut my face out.
Yep, cut Alex out. We got our Rocky Mountain Sports Report first live event. We'll be doing a remote broadcast from there. So come out and join us. Meet your RMSR personalities. And come out and join us. Have fun. So, all right, let's go. Oh, anybody interested in advertising with Rocky Mountain Sports Report, please reach out to Matt Staffiero. He will go over advertising packages with you. And then also the week of July 5th through the 9th, I need somebody who wants to fill in with the guy who wears this awesome hat, because Alex will be out of town. So yeah, Colorado only right now, Sean. Until I get fully registered with the FDA, I cannot sell across state lines. No interstate business. So, and then Scott, in regards to the remote event, Scott's so stoked. They'll have plenty of hockey news to talk about. That's the Seattle Kraken expansion draft is July 21st. And the first round of the NHL draft is July 23rd. So they definitely will have a lot of hockey stuff for you. So hockey fans, come on out to the event. Support us. Support Scott and Greg and the rest of RMSR. So, all right. Alex, your time again. NBA basketball.
I love that we start off with this every day. It makes me, this is the best part of the day.
Well, it's going to come to an end eventually. You know,
Yeah, we don't talk about that though.
July 22nd is the latest the season can go. That's if the conference finals go a full 7 games.
Right.
So, and then the NBA finals as well. So, let me ask you this: Trae Young went off last night.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what he did?
Yep.
Do you shimmy before you take a shot, or is that sort of
Well,
rubbing it in
that's
some dude's face?
confidence.
That's confidence, huh?
That's
So
confidence because if you shimmy before the shot and you miss that shot, you're never going to be able to live that down.
that is
But
true. You would look like a total jackass at that point.
but because he did it and he made the shot, and it not only did he make the shot, it was like one of those shots that go in. You could hear the crisp pop of the bucket every time.
Yeah.
It was a
Well,
beautiful shot.
yeah, he had a great game. 48
Mm-hmm.
points, really. I was surprised. I did not expect Atlanta to go in and take game 1 from the Bucks.
Well, that's
So,
a huge tone setter. Honestly, I mean, it really kind of puts Milwaukee on their heels, and they're going to have to figure out a way to win game 2, or they're going to be in some serious trouble.
yeah, definitely. So, Phoenix travels to Los Angeles for game 3 tonight. Suns lead 2-0. The Clippers have to find some way to win, and
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be doing it without Kawhi again. So,
Well, and we talked about this a couple days ago. We were talking about the NHL when we were talking about how the Islanders or the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Islanders 8-0, right?
right.
Or 8-2 was the final
Eight
score.
zero. It was
8-0.
8-0.
So there's demoralizing wins like that that'll put the other team in a position where they don't have any fight left in them. And then there's wins like the other night that the Suns inflicted upon the Clippers, where they win off that great play call by the coach of the Phoenix Suns. And that kind of stuff it's again another tone setter, and it'll probably the Clippers will now struggle to win this third game.
Yeah, and Scott brings up a good point. Atlanta's playing with house money right now. Nobody expected Atlanta to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. What were they, the 5 seed?
Right.
Maybe win the first round against a 5-4 matchup, but it for
And
them
I'm gonna
to
say this
go
right
where they're
now,
at.
and it's all because of one person, and that one person is Trae Young.
Oh, I agree.
If they don't have Trae Young, they don't make it even to the playoffs. I don't think that team's it's a good team. It's got good role players and good defensive players, but nothing without their offensive superstar Trae Young.
They definitely were a borderline playoff game. Got in as a 5 seed, So, but they've made some serious noise in the playoffs. So, and then the alley oop was honestly hilarious. So, it was. So it's just Atlanta's just they're crazy right now. They're on fire. Another team that's on fire, and I didn't mention this, is the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns have won 9 straight playoff games.
Right.
This team is on a roll. They get Chris Paul back tonight, more than likely. I think he's been cleared to play. So,
well, and that means that the Clippers are in even more trouble because they just got one of the best floor generals in the NBA back.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to predict now that with Chris Paul back and no Kawhi Leonard, Phoenix is going to sweep. A sweep them. They just outman the Clippers.
Well, and if they do end up sweeping the Clippers, this would be the first time, or not the first time, but one of the very few times that a team in the NBA playoffs sweep back-to-back teams.
Yeah, Scott makes a good point here. The Suns look unstoppable when CP3's in. I mean,
they look unstoppable without it.
Yeah, they do, and so it's even scarier when he comes in. Because it just makes them that much better.
And Booker's playing like a man on a mission. So
yeah, Booker is.
To slow him down is one thing, but to slow him down to slow DeAndre Ayton down, to
Yeah.
slow CP3 down. It's just going to be a huge task for the LA Clippers.
Yeah, and speaking of Devin Booker, the Team USA roster for the men's basketball team for the Olympics has been set, and Devin Booker will be a part of that roster. I don't know how it's going to happen though if it goes all the way to July 22nd, the NBA Finals, because the Olympics start on July 23rd. And
Mhm.
I think at that point, Devin Baker, you got 4 players right now that are still involved in the playoffs that are on the Olympic roster. So we got 2 returning players from the 2016 team. You got
Mhm.
Durant, and then you got Draymond Green. Those are the only returners.
Yeah.
And then some other players that are on the roster: Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, like I said, Drew Holiday, and I think Drew Holiday is another one. Is he still in the playoffs?
I'm not sure, honestly. Is he's with Milwaukee, correct? Right?
I thought he was. So
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't. I don't think he's really
uh,
been a significant factor.
Scott sort of helped us, or Sean did here. Sean Slade helps out. Basketball is the second week of the Olympics, so it may afford those guys still a chance to go over there and play. So
Well, and I think that if they've already committed at that point, even if they were going to play in the first week of the Olympics, um, I'm sure that Devin Booker and whoever was involved in the playoffs until the later part of the year, I'm sure that the coach would be understanding and give them their proper rest time and all that stuff.
right, right,
It's not like the Olympic team is hurting for talent. So
that is true, definitely. And then Scott says the Suns were plus 4,000 odds to win the title back during the preseason.
I should have taken
And
that.
there's people. I bet you Suns and Four guy might have laid a couple $100 on that, and he might get some good money.
I mean,
So
hell, if you put $20 on it, man, that's
yeah,
quite a profit right there.
right, yeah, definitely is. So I wouldn't be shocked if they go on and they win this whole thing. I think that team's that talented. So
And they're on a
one,
roll, like you
yeah,
said. So.
yeah, one more basketball news. I don't know if you saw this yet or not. Matt just told me this later that the Indiana Pacers have hired Dallas's former coach Rick Carlisle for their coach. They signed him to a 4-year, $29 million deal. I mean, do you think he can help Indiana turn that thing around up there?
I mean, it's definitely a tall order to ask anyone to do that. But um, Carlisle's a good coach, always has been, always will be. I think he's got the right mindset to be an NBA coach, and if he has the right talent, he's proved that he can do good things.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
hopefully, they can find a way to surround him with talent, and he can bring that Indiana team back to its winning ways.
Yeah, boy, look at this Atlanta plus 10,000. We might have some
And
serious long shots, 2 long shots in the NBA Finals. That'd be crazy.
how crazy would it be to see the Phoenix Suns and Atlanta Hawks in the finals?
That'd be crazy.
I would
That
love to
would be
see it.
crazy. So, and then Sean corrects himself. Basketball is the first week of the games. So, yeah, that may affect some of the players that.
Yeah, I would imagine you're not going to see Booker or anybody playing in the playoffs right now till they make it a little bit farther in the um, basketball of the Olympics.
Yeah. All right. Let's switch gears now. NHL hockey. You and I talked about this yesterday. Did the Islanders have a chance? I thought they were done after that 8-0 demoralizing victory, or loss to Tampa Bay. I just thought they weren't going to have anything left in the tank to really mount much of a battle last night. And they came back and they won it in overtime 3-2, and they forced a game 7.
Mm-hmm.
Now game 7, it's anybody's show now.
Right.
So I'm not sure if
I
you
mean,
saw.
and it's like I said, sometimes those demoralizing losses they'll make you play a certain way, and seemed like it worked out for Tampa
Yeah,
Bay
yeah. I think that
or
game.
the Islanders.
Yeah, I think the game winner came about a minute 18 into overtime. Is that correct, Scott? So I had just turned it on. We had company over. And so after they left, I turned the game on, hoping to catch the end, and it was at the end of the third and getting ready to go into OT. And luckily, I saw the game winner. And then those New York. I'm not sure if you saw this or not, but uh, the New York fans were throwing full cans of beer and water bottles and everything onto the ice. I mean,
Oh man.
sort of crazy. I mean, sort of endangering your own players. But
Right.
that's New York for you, I guess. So
Yeah. Just a bunch of crazies out there living
yeah.
out there.
And then Scott says Tampa's still a slight favorite, being at home, and I agree with that. I'm hoping, that New York can win it, and I'm hoping that Montreal can finish the deal tonight. I would love to see a New York Islanders Montreal Canadiens matchup in the Stanley Cup Finals. Two regular, and correct me if I'm wrong, Scott, but I think regularly both of these two teams are Eastern Conference teams, so it'll be sort of weird to it would be sort of weird to have two normal Eastern Conference teams in the Stanley Cup Finals. So, but Scott, if Scott, you could let me know, Scott, one way or another, if they're both normal, what you call it, and Beauviller or Beauviller had the OT winner 108 into OT. So, yeah, it was, yep, both are Eastern teams. So, be crazy to see two Eastern Conference teams battling it out for the Stanley Cup championship. All right, tonight, and Scott put a thing up here. Let me find it. Scott had a comment up here. I need to find it so I can pop it up before we start talking about this next series. Where was it? Gee whiz. Yeah, somewhere around here. Scott, can you post that again with Lair getting the go as goalie? I can't find there we go. Robin Lanier in net tonight for Vegas. So Fleury is being benched again after that 4-1 loss to Montreal. So I think the coach is looking for a spark there in the net. And I talked about this yesterday, and Scott, chime in if you want. I think a lot of this is just Fleury. He's getting up there. He's been around a while, and maybe he's just getting worn out. And like I said yesterday, it's not just a physical, thing. It's a mental thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and after taking so much abuse and physicality throughout these playoffs, you're going to need some downtime, whether it's at a convenient time for your team or not. You got to find a way to win with either goalie. So.
Yeah, and I would think that Price would be in net tonight too. I think that Montreal's pulling out all stops. I don't think Montreal wants to go back to Vegas for Game 7. So
No.
I think that they are looking to close this thing out tonight and advance to the finals. And then Game 7 of Tampa Bay and New York will be tomorrow night. So by the end of tomorrow night, at the latest by Saturday, the Stanley Cup Finals will be set. So, and then both teams are very physical teams, and Fleury is technically past his prime, which he is, and I think that's why he was not protected when, because he was picked up in the expansion draft for Vegas, correct, Scott? I thought that he was, or I don't know if Vegas just signed him as a free agent. But they do have, like Scott says, they have two quality goalies. So we'll see what happens tonight. All right, on to some NFL news. So this is more a question to you, Alex, because there's really not a lot of news going on right now in the NFL, so we'll just make up stuff.
Okay.
So Sam Darnold, who struggled mightily in New York with the Jets, do you think Do you think that change of scenery and going under Joe Brady, who was the offensive coordinator at LSU, and Joe Burrow had his breakout season, do you think that Sam Darnold might be able to resurrect his career under the guidance of of Joe Brady?
Um, uh, Only under one condition, and that condition is that they both have to find a system that works for both of them. Whatever Joe Brady is trying to implement on this team, he's got to work with Sam Darnold. If that's going to be your man moving forward, and you want to make sure he's um, a responsive quarterback that gets you wins, even touchdowns, minimize the turnovers, then you're going to have to find a way to kind of compromise and find something that you're both looking for. And I know Sam Darnold's good with his legs, but um, he's got an arm. He's got talent, and if you can utilize that talent, I would rely less on his legs and more on his arm.
Yeah. So, and I think that Darnold. One, I think Darnold was in a horrible coaching situation with the Jets.
I
I
do too.
mean, Adam Gase, almost destroyed Tannehill, in Miami. Then he goes to the Jets and he destroys Sam Darnold,
Mhm.
So maybe we see sort of a resurgence from Sam Darnold like we did Tannehill when he went to, what you call it, went to Tennessee,
Mhm.
and broke out. So, and Scott has a good thing here, and I'm not sure if you saw this or not, but I did see it. Travis Kelce and George Kittle hosted their tight end university this weekend in Nashville, and Tim Tebow was not extended an invitation. And I heard this on the radio the other day,
Because
and I'm
he's a
not
quarterback.
right. And they said the reason he is not invited because he has not made an NFL roster as a tight end yet.
Mhm.
They said if he makes the Jaguars and is officially a tight end, then they will offer him invitation next year. So
Well, and you'll see this more and more as the season goes on, especially if Tim Tebow doesn't end up making a roster. Um, these guys aren't about clout. They don't care about your fame or like where you've been. They want to see what you can do at that position. If you claim to be a tight end, then you have to play like a tight end. You have to be able to make a roster as a tight end. And if
right.
you can't, then there's no respect.
So I'm going to ask you the question, and anybody out there listening can chime in too. Do you think Tebow makes the Jaguars team as a tight end?
Without knowing too much about their tight end room, I would say he's probably given a chance just because it's Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
I'm not
and
saying that he'll play a lot or he'll even be in there in high pressure situations or even regular situations, but uh, they're going to give him a shot, I think, even if he's at the third string.
yeah, and I agree. I think that Urban Meyer, who's his former college coach, you know, will probably, he probably will make the team. Like you said, he may be a third string tight end or something like that. So, and
Well,
I'm
and
not,
Urban Meyer is one of the people that when he was coming out of Florida was pushing him to switch positions and was talking about switching positions to tight end. And that's when Tim Tebow said, "No, I'm a quarterback." So I think Urban
well,
Meyer probably sees a little something in it.
I think if Tim Tebow would have made this switch when he was with the Broncos, I think that he may have had a lengthy career in the NFL as like an H back style type guy, But I could see Urban Meyer using him down along the goal line to do his little jump passes and everything like he used to do at Florida too, just sort of
Right.
like a wildcat style offense and throw him in there and bring that. So, and then one other interesting tidbit of news. The NFL Combine has been in Indianapolis since 1987. Every year except for the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Last year the Combine was canceled, and then no, this year. Last year they had medicals only there,
Mm-hmm.
so so they didn't do the actual combine. They just had medical examinations and stuff like that for the teams. The NFL now is going to let all NFL cities bid on hosting the combine for for 2023. Think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I think it's I mean, I don't think there's anything that really holds Indianapolis to have that kind of right to just hold it every year without any, you know, fight back or pushback from other teams. I think that other people should get the chance to host it in their city because it's a good thing for every NFL team.
Oh, I agree. So I like that. I like the way that they're moving the NFL draft around. I think that's a good thing too to help, give the other fans a chance, Let I like, they've had, I think it was Nashville. Nashville was just insane when they hosted the NFL draft 2 years ago, I think it was. So that place, I mean, they just showed the streets up and down. I mean, there were looked like hundreds, thousands of people out there jammed on the street. So Scott has a couple comments. Urban Meyer quoted as saying Team Tebow has done a decent job picking up tight end with the Jags. And that was a comment he made earlier today. So we'll see how it progresses there. And this one, I agree 100% that Denver's going to get blacklisted and won't host due to altitude.
And I agree.
I don't agree with that 100%. So
I think it's a bogus call because I mean everybody knows from a athletic standpoint you want to train at higher altitude.
Yeah, and I think this is just an excuse because Denver is being blackballed from everything. Denver should have had a draft by now. Denver has lots of good venues. They even promoted doing it up at Red Rocks, which is just an awesome facility, and the NFL, picked another city. I think this is all over the ownership issue. So altitude training does make athletes better, just like you said, Alex, and Scott, says that too. I mean, training at altitude is better. Why do you think the Olympic Training Center's here in Colorado Springs?
Another thing we have to kind of consider too is that some athletes, I think it was James Harrison being one of them, can't handle the altitude due to their physical condition. Maybe they have pre-existing medical conditions like asthma. Some of the Steelers players have had problems here. I know there's been a couple of Indianapolis Colts, like Jeff Saturday, always had a problem here.
I know there was one person from the Steelers who could never play here because of sickle cell, and the altitude really impacts that. So,
and as rare as that kind of stuff is, you really have to take it into consideration because you never know coming out of college who's going to have that kind of thing going on.
Yeah, and I think training here is different than just bringing some guys in and telling them to go run a 40-yard dash, when they're not used to being at this altitude. You would see times and everything dropping as far as that. So Scott has a thing, cardiac issues, closer for Dodgers couldn't play here. Closer for the Dodgers couldn't play here either. And I think the blood clots are in reference to the sickle cell issue that one of the Steelers had. I just can't remember what his name is. So, all right. On to Major League Baseball.
When Daisy wasn't on it.
On to Major League Baseball. ESPN new power rankings come out, and the top five are San Diego's fifth, Chicago White Sox are fourth, Dodgers are third, Houston Astros second, and San Francisco Giants are first. So, any teams on there surprise you, Alex?
The White Sox, really. I mean, I know they're kind of trending up, but I don't know. To have them at the number 4 spot is kind of interesting to me. So,
yeah. And Scott throws this comment out there, which goes to my next point. Rockies are horrible on the road, but Germán Marquez just had a brilliant game. I mean, Rockies are 26th in the power ranking out of 30 teams. So it's nice to know that there's 4 teams worse than us. So,
doesn't mean we're the bottom of the barrel anymore.
Yeah, and here's my big surprise out of that top 5 is San Francisco. That team has just done an amazing job turning it around. So, And there's your boy Kurt from K&K Sports
Hey,
out
what's
of
up, Kurt?
New York City. He will be on the show tomorrow with Alex, so filling in for me. So, Kurt, thanks for stopping by. Tell all the guys at K&K that the Lunchtime Lunacy boys say hello. So, yeah, but I mean, Rockies picked up their sixth win of the season on the road. Like I say, and Herman Marquez, a great outing. So,
All right. Sorry, I don't mean
so
to laugh. It's just kind of funny that we're talking about a sixth win, and we're like, what, third of the way through the season?
well, it is funny. I mean, this team could probably go down historically as one of the worst road teams. 6-28 on the road right now.
That
So
is
it
embarrassing.
it is embarrassing. I mean, it's bad. You're losing one in every 5 games or so,
Yeah, and our general
or
manager
winning
should
one in
be
every 5 games on
embarrassed.
the road. What's that?
Yeah, I think our manager should be embarrassed. Just he's going to lose his job. He's not going to have something to. There's no way that in any position that he should hold on to his job. I don't care if they go on a 20-game winning streak on the road, and he still shouldn't have a job at the end of the season.
Yeah, and 6-28 on the road, like Scott said. Tapia's hitting streak ended at 18 games. That was the longest streak of the season. So I like Tapia. Tapia is sort of breaking out this year, and showing how valuable he can be to this team. Oh boy, some chatter here in New York about the Yankees looking to trade for Trevor Story.
I mean, the Yankees are looking to rebuild too, aren't they?
Well, no,
So
I think they're looking to just position themselves to make a run.
yeah,
So, boy, woo, man.
it'd be interesting
Um,
for sure.
Hey, Kurt, do you have any idea what they're talking about the Yankees will give up for Trevor Story? That would be nice to hear. I want to see what, and I don't want some old player. I want prospects for this team.
Mhm.
You
We
know,
need young blood.
we need young blood that we can start rebuilding this team, rebuild it the right way. And Scott has a good point here too. Lots of changes should happen with Rockies this season. If it doesn't happen, I have no respect for the ownership, and I agree 100%. If Bud Black returns for next season, and I've even called that, maybe they dismiss him at the All-Star break, and I don't know if that's going to happen. It's not going to really fix anything,
Yeah.
So you just let him ride it out through September, and then you get rid of him, and then you start your coaching search. But we have to
Well, I
get.
kind of I
Go
kind
ahead.
of disagree because like if you let him go at the All-Star break and you think about the way that's going to set a tone for these players moving on to next season, even while they're in this same season, they're going to know that everybody's job is on the line. And maybe you see some players break out, do things that they weren't doing before because they have to, fight for a job now. So
Yeah,
it could be beneficial to the Rockies to see what they actually have talent wise on this
it could.
roster.
And Scott makes a great point here. Trevor could definitely benefit hitting behind, in front of, or around Torres, Judge, and DJ LeMahieu.
That would
So
be a hell of a lineup for sure.
yeah, it definitely would. So, and Scott, and that is true. No big name manager is really going to want to come here. I mean, the way this organization is being run and everything else, I don't know if you're going to find, you have to scrape the bottom of the barrel, I think, to get a manager in here to the Rockies.
Mhm.
I just don't see how you attract a big name guy to come in here.
By
So,
winning games, and it's hard to do that without a good manager
well,
to begin with.
I think the first step in the process is putting a good general manager in place.
Hmm.
And that's going to show how serious ownership is about correcting this. Is how they go with their general manager. If they stick with the guy that they put in as the interim, then then Montfort doesn't give a crap about this team, and it's just all it's here for is for money reasons only for him. And we're going to continue to be a AAA baseball team that's going to be supplying talent to the rest of the major leagues.
Right.
So, all right, everybody, we went a little long today, but we appreciate you tuning in, Scott. We appreciate all the comments and interaction. Kurt, thanks for stopping by. Sean Slade, thanks for swinging by. Again, tomorrow, Alex and Kurt from K&K Sports will be on the show, and we will I'll see you next Monday, I guess. Everybody
I hope you have a good weekend. It's been a great week doing the show with you, and hopefully you get some time tomorrow to check us out at the lunchtime Lunacy. So
I'll try. We're going to be up in Estes Park, but I'll try to have my phone on and watch you and Kurt and throw you guys some questions and stuff like that. But hey, everybody, tune in tomorrow. Catch Kurt of K&K Sports and Alex tomorrow. It's going to be a great show, and we will see you later on. Everybody have a wonderful weekend from me. Thank you very much.
Peace.
All right, good show, bud.